You guys, I'm going to work today. When I get out of work, it will be spring break, and look what it looks like outside. Dog food. Hey, Emmy, do you want to go for a walk? Guys, nature is so scary. So the reason that we went this particular way to walk by the lake, pond, pretend lake sort of a thing is because I heard that on one side of the street on the way here, we took the busy street, there was not only a dead squirrel but also a dead mouse. And then we decided that we would go this way instead. And we walked all the way here, this way, until we got to some fields, you know, like farmer's fields. And then I decided, you know what, we could walk this boring path back, or we could walk the other way through the woods. Well, we didn't even get very far, and there is literally a mouse with its legs like up in the air, very dead on the path. So I think this is just a scary area. I think that's what it is. Okay, so to be fair, this is the area where you could easily have loads of mice. In fact, just back there, I was riding my bike one time and one ran like right between the spokes of my bike, like right between my tires. But I'll show you something. I feel like this is the reason why there's loads of dead mice. Like, all the mice used to live in here, and now they're building condos, apartments, I don't know, something there. And the poor mice have lost their homes. Now they're dropping dead everywhere, legs up in the air. Poor little baby mice. What is this nonsense? Why are you waking me up? I must escape from the crazy cat. Guys, the dog has like moved herself to the ugly couch in the basement, and her head is like bobbing, like she cannot even handle to keep herself awake. You can go back to sleep, it's okay. Oh, the poor baby. Okay, so now that we're up way too early, I do have floating at 9. I should probably leave at 8:30, but it's like 7, it's way too early. I thought I would show you the books that have remained in the basement, which are a mix of like basically, I don't know, like this stuff that's just left behind, the stuff that we don't want to get rid of but don't really have the need for in our own places, like my brother and I. So let's see what's on the shelf. All right, so we have all the American Girl books. You can kind of see like where I stopped. So Josefina, she was the newest one when I kind of started to lose interest, but yeah, loads of them. These are my brother's because I was too old to have these still at home, basically. Like, yeah, I think I was in college or past college when these came out. Chasing Redbird. No one talks about this book, but I loved it so much as a kid. Walk Two Moons was really good. This one was not. I should probably get rid of some of these. I should haul my mom's shelves because she doesn't want them. She's just keeping them for me. I've never read these. These are my mom's. This was like the first mini chapter book I read. My first real chapter book was Dawn and the Surfer Ghost, but this was like a mini chapter book I read. Like, just like a baby chapter book that still has pictures and stuff. Ramona and Her Father. I love this one because she tries to get her dad to stop smoking, and for some reason I thought that storyline was so interesting, even though no one in my life was a smoker at the time. I don't know why these are here because the rest are on a different shelf. These are my brother's. It was my mom's attempt to get him to read, which really he only read Pendragon and Harry Potter. Oh, and Captain Underpants. Those are his too. It was like my favorite book of poetry as a kid. Okay. My mom will be so happy that I'm unhauling her shelves. Yeah, we have a few. I had way more than this. I think I just kept certain ones. So the first one I ever read was, oh my gosh, I'll be so sad if it's, oh, right here. This I read in 2nd grade. Dawn and the Surfer Ghost. And it was like the first like chapter book that's like more legit that I read by myself in 2nd grade. So I think that's pretty good. I don't know. I was not in the top reading group by any means. And then I also really liked these books. I really liked Karen's Roller Skates because she breaks her arm or her wrist or something, and I always wanted to have a cast. Were you like that as a kid where you always wanted like crutches or a cast or something? And also I started reading these because she has the same name as me. So honestly, when I started reading these, I was already reading these. So like really you should start with these first, and then you should like graduate to the Babysitters Club. But I think I did it like out of order. Karen's Mermaid, that one was really good too. Oh, I loved these super ones. Like they had super mysteries, and then they had something else that was super. And like, how many pages were they? 230. I just remember thinking they were so big, and I felt so accomplished after I finished them. And then this is my favorite Babysitter's Club book because her dad has a heart attack. But I think Heather had this on her channel. Like, this is super problematic that like her dad's actually being a dad, and it's like a whole book about how to be a dad, or like that it's so unusual that you need to write a book about her dad being a good dad. All right, these are my C.S. Lewis books. I think I only got to number 2. Anyway, oops. Okay, what else? We have a few Harry Potters. These are not mine. I had them in hardcover and got them at the bookstore at midnight from the 4th book and beyond. So those must be my brother's. I loved these books. I feel like some are missing. This is not all of them. Oh, I see why. They're just out of order. The only one I never read was Farmer Boy because I didn't really care about a boy. So these need to be moved. I think I owned these Little House in the Ozarks sort of books, but I don't think I ever actually read them, so I'm not really sure why they're here. Like, perhaps we should also get rid of these. I will ask my mom. Like, really, she doesn't care about these. She should only be keeping what was special to us, and none of these are special. Okay, then the Boxcar Children, which I'm pretty sure I purposely dropped this in the bathtub because I wanted it to look cool. Like it looks like a treasure map or something. That's kind of messed up, but I was weird as a kid. The Treehouse Mystery. Story of Helen Keller. Letters for a Slave Girl. I mean, this seems like a good book, but I don't think that it was mine. I don't know where it came from. Perks of Being a Wallflower. I think my brother read this for a girl. Bridge to Terabithia. It's fine, we had to read it in school. Ice was so good. No one ever read this book, but it was so good. I think I was obsessed with World War II books, and I have no idea what this one is. must be my brother's too. Freedom Walkers. I also don't really remember reading this as a kid, so I might steal it for my classroom. Christie. I read the kid version and also the adult version about a teacher in Appalachia, whatever. Another early chapter book I used to read. I never read that. I always thought I was supposed to read it, but I never read it, so that's not important. The Phantom Tool Booth. I feel like this could be good. I've never read it, but like I actually might want to. Anne Frank. I love all these DK books. Like if you can get your kid a DK book, it's going to be amazing. Ooh, this book looks real vintage and not real high quality, but that is probably an important story. Also not from my childhood. No Place to Hide. My mom read me, oh gosh, Number the Stars, and then we became obsessed with all these World War II books. This is Pioneer Times. Treasure Island. I've never read this. Maybe I should. Okay, Pee-wee Scouts. Did you guys read these? This is for another like early chapter book. And honestly, I think I discovered them like after I already read the Babysitter's Club, Mystery, Dawn and the Surfer Ghost. So that's one thing. I get really annoyed when teachers are like, oh, you have to read at this level, because obviously they're way easier, right? But I like loved them, and that's cool. Read what you want to read. And everything's helping your reading. Freak the Mighty is really good. SOS Titanic. I was also obsessed with the Titanic because my grandma took me to see it in 6th grade, and I had never seen that kind of content before, let alone with my grandma. Oh yeah, Fear Street. Those were good. This is like the beginning of YA, I feel like. Okay. This is probably not woke. I don't know. World War II. Also cancer books. Why was that a thing that people were obsessed with? Ooh, actually, I met this author. Did I meet her? No, I didn't meet her. Never mind. I was thinking of Judy Blume. This one's in water. Number the Stars. This one is a definite keep because I have so many memories attached to this book. I've reread it. It does not stand up. But memories stand up. And this one, I have tried a million times. I've never made it through. Honestly, I'd rather read the legit version. That like is not like kid down, and I think this one is like the edited version that doesn't have stuff about her teenage questioning and things. Okay, these are ones that ended up either saying like, hey, I want to read, or I'm gonna add to my classroom. Tales from the Secret Annex, Farewell to Manzanar, 21 Balloons, Phantom Toll Booth, Surviving Hitler, 4 Perfect Pebbles, Freedom Walkers, Tuskegee Airmen, Anne Frank, and Amelia Earhart, who my cat was named after.
Hello everyone, welcome to my parents' living room. That is not normally there, that's for my cat. But basically you are propped up by the TV so that I can tell you about what I maybe bought at the museum and what I read last night. And then I'm just gonna spend the rest of my evening going on a long walk with my mom's dog, my sister dog, and having an early dinner, and then just reading hopefully a book or two tonight, so we'll be pretty cozy. Anyway, the book that I got from the museum was Voices in Our Blood, and this is a collection of essays that are about the civil rights movement. Loads of people are in here: Maya Angelou, Alex Haley, Alice Walker, Eudora Welty, Richard Wright. Like super cool people are in here just talking about the civil rights from like kind of the beginnings through. So I think it would be cool to kind of have like a book of history told in essays. Kind of sounds like the 1619 project, which is still on my TBR, but yeah, anyway, I got that. There was also a book that was signed by President Ford, and I was like, oh cool, like it looked kind of boring, but I decided that I wanted it anyway. And then I opened it up to see if it was legit signed, because I thought that was weird. It said signed by the author. Yeah, it was $500, so thinking that is not in my price range. Plus it did look boring. So the book I finished last night was Never Anyone But You. This is a story of two girls who start out the story as Lucy and Suzanne, and it takes us basically through like the early 1900s, through World War I, World War II, and through their lives together basically. So these two women end up falling in love and spending their lives together. It's really sweet, and I just enjoyed basically how we could learn about history through their perspectives. I had some problems with the love story though. I will say first of all, before I get into this, that there are loads of trigger warnings for basically anything involving like mental illness and things that might be associated with mental illness. So you can use your imagination and see if that would be something that would kind of upset you, or I'm sure there's somewhere where you can find a list of all the specific trigger warnings, or you can just let me know and I'll tell you all the specific ones. But basically anything associated with mental illness is kind of in here. So yeah, so the two girls, they meet, and I really enjoyed the character of Lucy, who later defines herself as Claude, renames herself. And it was interesting because this book is told like from their experience back in the day. And so I would definitely say that number one, that Claude is probably like gender fluid, I would say. Throughout the book, she uses she, but I feel like if Claude was around today, they would probably use they. And just really has a hard time identifying herself as either a woman or a man. She's just a person. And so that was interesting to see like her perceptions of herself, but without the language we have today, I guess. And so anyway, her name is Lucy at the start of the book, and she ends up changing it to Claude. And she just kind of feels like, you know, she just is a human being. And that's cool, and I completely adore that about her, that she's willing to change her name. But I just felt like she kind of like convinced the other character, Suzanne, to change her name, and Suzanne ends up becoming Marcel. But to me, I always think of her as Suzanne because, like, I don't know, I number one, I'm not good at names in books, but number two, Marcel just never seemed to fit. Like, it felt like she was trying to be the person that Claude wanted her to be, as opposed to just doing what she wanted to do. Whereas Claude, I felt like definitely like needed a name change and got more power from that name change. The other thing about Claude is I think that it seems like she's pansexual, whereas Suzanne, aka Marcel, I think is just a lesbian, but who knows? Anyway, their relationship just had me feeling some kind of ways because Claude is very, very, very mentally ill. And I understand that you wouldn't ditch someone just because they're mentally ill, but I kind of felt like, I don't know if you guys have read The Giving Tree, but that's what this book reminded me of, just the way that Suzanne is constantly self-sacrificing, and like, I just feel like she loses herself through this relationship that is over the years. Like, yeah, she gets love and pleasure and stuff from the relationship, but like, I just feel like she dies in herself. Whereas Claude is just free. But in that freedom, there is kind of bondage because she has severe mental illness. And so, you know, she's this free spirit, but tied down by this crippling mental illness. So it's kind of weird how one character is destroyed, in my opinion, through the relationship and through completely giving up of who she was, and the other character is more free but destroyed by mental illness. So anyway, I definitely think that other people should read this. It was really good, but it's just not a book that I will keep. I would probably give it 3 stars. Like, I definitely enjoyed it. It's worth reading. I really liked towards the end where they start, well, not really towards the end, but like the last quarter or so, where they start getting involved in World War II and some of the insane things that they do for the war efforts. But yes, I have a limited amount of space on my bookshelves and will be passing this one along to my mom and to whoever wants to read it beyond my mom. So if you might be interested, let me know and I'm happy to ship it. If you live in another country, I'll see about the shipping rates. It's probably fine, but anyway, let me know if you want it after my mom is done reading it. Okay. There's a dead mouse and a dead squirrel on this side of the street, so we have to cross soon so that we don't perish. Could be pretty serious. Okay, I think we're safe. We have avoided the mouse and the squirrel. However, now we're on the unknown. The side of the unknown, because my mom never walks on this side. She just avoids the squirrel and the dead mouse. So there still could be crazy things on this side of the street too. Isn't that house so cute? You guys, there's literally a dead squirrel on this side too. And then I have a dog with me, and so she like pulls you towards the dead animal because she wants to like sniff it or eat it or play with it or something. That is super disturbing. And this is why we are vegetarians. And just like that, all is well again. Stop, they have the wonder. Do I have that? I don't even know if I have that. I know I love it. I've already read it though, and it is really good, and someone else should read it. Oh, I love this book. Ooh, it's from Horrocks. That was like my favorite grocery store. Face forward, face forward. I'm not looking, I'm not looking, I'm not looking. I have never been down this street, but its name is Summer, so I feel like that's safe. It's like pleasant vibes. No dead animals, no dead animals, please, please, please. I feel like this would be a perfect place for woodcocks, but I haven't gone here at night, so I don't know. Having a dog is so scary. I don't even know what she just ate. There's something like white, like a bone or something like that, and she just like chomped on it and would not like, she just latched on it, she wouldn't let go. And it was so gross that I didn't even know what it was, but I feel like at one time it was alive.